Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have all been doing well. It's your boy Jamal back for another video. It's been so long since I picked the camera up and filmed a video, but I'm back and I wanted to film this video to kind of update you guys on where I've been, what I've been up to, what's been going on with the cars, and also it gave me an excuse to pick up my brand new camera and film a video. So that's right. There's two main reasons I get fired up to film a video, right? It's new car parts or new camera equipment. And so today we're filming on a brand new camera I just got. It's the Sony ZV-E1 for those of you guys that care. For those of you guys that know about cameras, I was previously filming on an A6300 and now I'm filming on the ZV-E1. And the biggest difference is this camera is a full frame camera versus a crop sensor camera that I was filming on before. So you're going to notice that the lens, the area that it's picking up is a lot more wider. Sorry if I keep looking to the side. There's a screen that actually flips out on it now, so I finally have a flip out screen. So it's weird. I'll try to make sure that I look at the lens the whole time. But anyways, I got a new camera. I wanted to film this video, just kind of update you guys on what's been going on and hopefully start filming videos again now that I've got this new camera, and start putting more content out, hopefully. I know I always say that, but hopefully this new camera gives me a reason to start filming. And also, I've kind of switched video editing softwares now too. So I've kind of ditched Adobe Premiere and we're going to start editing in DaVinci Resolve. So hopefully that process goes smoothly. If you're watching this video, that means it did go smoothly. We did get it uploaded. So that's going to be another challenge in and of itself. But I wanted to update you guys on what's been going on with me, what's been going on with the cars. So anyways, let's go ahead and fire the Corvette up. We're going to take it to a nearby park, and I'm just going to show you guys what's been going on with it. So I feel like I owe you guys a nice cold start of the Corvette. It's been a few days since I've actually drove this thing, so it should be nice and loud when we fire it up. But let's go ahead and hear this thing sing. Get a nice little scrape pulling out of here. So I've kind of pulled into a nice quiet spot here, and as you guys can see behind me, the Corvette itself hasn't changed a whole lot. One thing I did do in the past few months was I did change the battery out. If you guys remember way back to when I broke that valve spring and I dropped that valve into the cylinder, that was the last time the battery got replaced. So the battery that was in it finally gave out. It was on a tender for the longest time. It was on a battery tender for the longest time. And the battery finally decided to quit on me. It would no longer accept a charge from the battery tender. So we did have to change that out. But in terms of everything else, the car has been more or less the same. Just been doing oil changes on it, driving it, enjoying it. And I guess for those of you guys that are new to the channel, I could kind of speak to what is all done to my Corvette. This is my 2003 C5 Corvette Z06. It's electron blue. It is lowered on CCW Classic 3-piece wheels. This is a 17-inch setup, 17 by 11 in the rear, 17 by 10 up front. Nitto tires, NT55G2s up front with NT05Rs in the rear. Miscellaneous blackout bits, LEDs done all around. Just recently replaced these emblems with fresh emblems. What else is there to say about this thing? Corsa axle back exhaust, long tube headers, 1/7/8 long tube headers with catless X pipe. Just miscellaneous LED tail lights, LED interior lights. It's got Corbo A4 seats in it, C6Z shifter, Brian Tooley Stage 3 racing cam in it. It's got Texas Speed heads on it, and a Fast 92 intake manifold on it. It was tuned locally here by James Carger, lstuner.com, and it made 470 wheel horsepower at the back tire, and it's on a McLeod RST twin disc clutch. Super fun car to drive, and honestly, guys, it's at the point now where I've kind of milked this thing dry for content. I don't know if you guys have seen that GTA 5 meme of that cow that's like skin and bones, and Rockstar just continues to milk GTA 5. That's kind of how I feel with this car and content. It's pretty much done. The next big thing to do would be to supercharge it, turbo it, or spray it with nitrous. But honestly, like, the engine in this thing is super tired, and I really don't want to have to do that because right now it just drives so well. I really enjoy driving it, beating on it, and it takes it pretty decently. So besides just changing the oil on this thing and enjoying it, man, I haven't been doing a whole lot with this thing. This thing is not my daily, so most of the week it just sits in the garage, but it's still an amazing car to look at. And honestly, I've thought about getting rid of it, but I just can't bring myself to do it because I know I'd miss this thing too much. And I think if I ever did end up getting rid of it, I'd have to replace it with another Corvette. So this thing isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I did toy around with the idea of getting another daily driver, but this, as far as the Corvette goes, this thing's going to stay until I'm ready to replace it with another Corvette. And for those of you guys that are curious, my ultimate dream Corvette would be a C6 ZR1. And if you guys have been kind of following the market on that car specifically, it's still insanely ridiculous from kind of pandemic highs. They're like 80 grand right now. And they used to be like in the 60s, 50s to 60s before the pandemic. I don't think they're going to get back down to where they were, but one can hope. And so I'm just kind of hanging on to this thing, enjoying it while I pay the Cadillac off. And once the Cadillac's paid off, maybe get another daily driver. I've been looking at some trucks recently, maybe getting a Gladiator or something like that. But this car is not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think so. Unless I come across a whole bunch of money for a C6 ZR1. This car is not going anywhere anytime soon. So there she is. Nothing really major has been going on with her. She's still here, guys. Don't worry. I don't think I could ever bring myself to get rid of this thing, but you have to be a pretty sweet car that's getting replaced with for me to want to get rid of this thing. It's just the noises it makes and the way it rides and just the raw feeling of it is just it's just too awesome for me. Now that we got the Corvette back in the garage, it's time to update you guys on the daily, the CTS-V. Guys, this thing is getting up there in miles, 72,760 miles. I bought this thing with almost 39,000 miles on it. So, and what was that, back in 2019? So I guess in almost 4 years now, I've put almost 30,000 miles on, or just over 30,000 miles on the car. So the daily's been getting driven, but she's still holding strong for the most part. Now, this car, similar to the Corvette, more or less has remained pretty much the same. I haven't really had to do much of this thing. I've just kind of been driving it, enjoying it, changing the oil on it, and just enjoying the car, man, daily. It's like, it's funny because, you know, before this I used to daily a 2005 Chevy Cavalier, and it seemed like I'd run into much more people that were kind of driving crazy or wanted to race in that car than I do in this thing. Driving this thing around, I just don't see anybody anymore. There was a little Hemi Challenger that messed with me this morning, but honestly, there's not a whole lot on the road still, besides, you know, with the exception of some EVs and stuff now, that will really give this thing a run for its money. So, I mean, just driving around daily, enjoying it, driving it pretty tame. I leave it in tour mode now, honestly, for the most part, and just enjoy the car. It is finally out of its warranty period. For those of you guys that didn't know, this was a certified pre-owned car, so it had a warranty for like 6 years or 100,000 miles, whichever occurred first. And so the 6 years finally ended last year, and so this thing no longer has a warranty, which makes it a little bit more sketch just because parts for this car are very expensive if you mess anything major up. So I do want to modify it though. I do want to put like headers on it and put an intake on it and just at least tune it, get some more power out of it that way. But I don't think I wanted to go stupid crazy on this car. Like, I don't think I want to do a cam or anything like that. Maybe port the blower at some point. But I think for the most part, I want to leave the stock cam in this thing, and just leave the top end stock and stuff like that. Just maybe long tube headers, an exhaust, maybe an E85 tune, but that might be stretching it a little bit on the stock fuel system. So I don't know. We'll see what I want to do with this thing. This car has just been really fun to drive every day. It sucks gas down, and paying for gas kind of sucks, but I think gas prices are finally starting to chill out a little bit now. So it hasn't been too bad. You know, this car has been doing everything for me. There are a few little things that have kind of messed up on this car, which I'm about to show you guys. But for the most part, it's been awesome. Oh, speaking of things that have been messing up on this car, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the windshield is cracked, and this is the second time that the windshield has cracked on this car, and it's the second time I've had to replace it. So that's another $700-ish down the drain on this thing. You hate to see it. Another thing that's kind of annoying about these cars, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the carbon fiber trim on the dash is starting to peel up because of the heat. It's doing it on the door here as well. There is a solution for this. Cadillac actually, with the special edition V, I believe it's the red edition or something like that. I can't remember. Oh, the championship edition V3. It came with a solid one-piece carbon fiber trim. So this replaces all the carbon fiber trim that's in the car. But that kit is $900 to replace. So I'm gonna wait a little bit on that, but that's kind of what happens to the stock trim on this thing, man. Kind of sad for a car this expensive. It's basically a two-piece. There's like a backing plate that pops in, and then this carbon fiber trim. I don't even know if it's real carbon or not. It glues to that back piece, and the adhesive just melts over time, and then it starts warping in the heat. But other than those small little issues, guys, this thing has been pretty reliable as a daily. There is one other thing that's going on with this car right now. There's a small oil leak. Oil kind of collects on the oil pan. So I'm kind of sketched out. I really hope that's not a rear main seal that's leaking, because that's going to be really expensive to repair if it is. I'm hoping it's just there's a little gasket down there somewhere that maybe is on the oil cooler or something that's leaking. I'm praying to God that's what that is, because if it's the rear main seal, that is not going to be a cheap fix. So there is that kind of one major thing, I guess you could say, going on with it. But other than that, the car's been pretty solid. It is super dirty right now because it's the daily, obviously. But the wheels, as you guys can tell on this thing, those of you guys that don't know, this is my 2016 Cadillac CTS-V. It is my daily. It's on 20-inch stance SF07 wheels, NATO tires as well. And then I've done a lot of blackout with the trim. I still need to black out these handles. I've been saying that for the longest time, but these still need to get blacked out. The stainless is kind of like the last chrome left on the car. Again, super dirty because it is a daily, but there she is. The 2016 Cadillac CTS-V, looking pretty good for 70,000 miles, if I must say so myself. This thing actually, one other thing I would like to mention is this thing actually had a little bit of a clunk going on in the rear end, and for the longest time I could not figure it out. It was driving me insane. I took videos of it, sent it to people, asked people, they're like, yo, it might be an axle, it might be a diff even. I was pretty concerned. And finally one day I just jacked up both sides, took both the back tires off and started prying around everywhere, the pry bar. Turns out it was the passenger side sway bar end link that was loose. So just tighten that back down and that clunky is gone. That was another thing that was so nerve-wracking. It's like every time something on this car messes up, it's so nerve-wracking because it could easily turn into a multi-thousand-dollar repair. And that's something that I do not want to do. This car actually is almost paid off. I owe less than $10,000 on this thing now, so it's almost paid off, which is going to be a super awesome feeling when it is paid off. And maybe at that point, I can start dumping some money into modifications for at least the exhaust and the intake and things, small things like that I mentioned. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of what I've been up to. Not a whole lot's been going on, honestly, with the cars. And that's honestly another reason why I wasn't filming a whole lot of videos, just because a lot of the content that just I film of like car shows and stuff just gets really monotonous. It's just the same thing over and over again. I could just keep going to Cars and Coffees and filming those, but I feel like it's boring content. It's nothing new. You guys have already kind of seen the cars around here. And so that to me just wasn't exciting to film or anything, but I got this new camera now. And so it's kind of got me reinvigorated my passion for filmmaking and stuff. And really, the reason that I started this YouTube channel was because I do enjoy cars, but I also do really enjoy filmmaking. I do really enjoy the technology, the cameras, the microphones, the editing process, all that stuff. So with that being said, if you guys have any suggestions, anything you guys want to see, I've got this C5 Z06, I've got the Cadillac CTS-V. If you guys can think of any video ideas, drop them down in the comments below. Obviously, thumbs up the video. If I like any of the comments, I like any of the ideas, I can definitely film those videos for you guys. If you guys have any questions, also leave those down below. I know I had kind of started the podcast as well. So if there's enough comments or questions, maybe I can film another episode of that. But that's kind of just been what's been going on. I just haven't been feeling the real need to film a new video just because there hasn't been anything going on with the cars. The car community is more or less the same, but I've got this new camera now, so I want to film some stuff. So if you guys could please just drop your suggestions down below. I'll read all the comments. Also follow me on Instagram at Jamal's Garage. I do answer a lot of questions there. If you guys send me a DM, if you guys have any weird kind of personal questions or car questions that you want to ask me, I do answer all the DMs there. So anyways, it's been your boy Jamal. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Again, drop a like, hit the subscribe button for future content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.